Hello, beautiful manifestors. It is Olivia Grace, and I'm back with another video for you guys. And in this video, we're going to be talking about getting rid of deep subconscious beliefs. These can be beliefs that were formed in childhood, that we can find kind of like lingering in our minds, or can be maybe a little bit more difficult, or you find a lot of pushback with them. So we're going to talk about this. I do really intend and know that this is going to prosper you guys a lot, because this is being able to do this a lot of times is the key to you being able to shift to your new, like shift to a vastly different reality. Okay. So yeah, if you're new here, I am Olivia Grace. This is the Master Manifestors channel. Here I talk about law of assumption, manifestation, all that good stuff. So if you're into any of that, then I'd love to have you be a part of the channel, like the video, subscribe, comment, share it with someone that you think will help. I do have ways that I can help you in the description. I am going to be relaunching the Godstate group coaching again for next month. The girls in this month, literally, one of them manifested $10,000 like overnight. Another one manifested $4,000, I think, also overnight. They've been having incredible successes, but there's so many successes that I have to make a separate video about them. But I am going to be relaunching it, you guys. So you can reach out to me if you are interested in email, but I'll have it posted soon. But in the meantime, you can work with me one-on-one. Anything else? Let's get started. Hi, everyone. Hi, Kanini. Hi, Simba. Hi, Reality Godfested. Hi, Abundant One. Hi, Alice Carline. I'm in the middle of one of my Twilight marathons again. Hi, Ty. Hi, Simba. Hi, Moon. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Tava. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Mama Kay. Hi, Beauty Alchemist. Hi, Khadija. Hi, Ashley. Did I say everybody? I feel like I'm repeating people's names. Okay. All right, let's get started, you guys, okay? Okay, so first thing, when it comes to really shifting these subconscious beliefs that seem to be very deep and very ingrained, okay? Number one is to know yourself above all identities, okay? So something that keeps us stuck, okay? Something that keeps us stuck in an identity is that we believe that we're stuck in the identity. Basically, we believe because like I've believed this for so long, and I've done this for so long. Not Jasper's so fine. You would say that, Alice. That's your soulmate, right? I can't. Hi, Tracy and Kelly. Okay. So you believe that you've had this beliefs for so long that it is who you are. You have identified yourself with this belief as like one. Like, I am just the type of person that is this way and that way and this way, right? And so the truth about it is that you're not really any type of way, right? So this is actually gonna get really deep, and I'm like, because there's a lot of things I want to hit on, so I don't really necessarily want to get so deep into it, but this is just gonna really truly help y'all, okay? So okay, let's start with what God is, okay? So God is formless, right? If you want to think of God as formless energy, and God took form as you, right? So God took form as you, but you then conditioned yourself, right? You then decided, I'm this type of person. I like these kind of things. I don't like those kinds of things, right? So technically, beyond the identity of Olivia, beyond the identity of the avatar, you are not really anything because you're everything. I'm intending that makes sense. But you are what you have been conditioned consciously or subconsciously to be, okay? So why does that matter? Because what it means is that your true identity is a blank slate. Yourself, even yourself, like just the same way that we can manifest things, you manifest yourself as well. In psychology, they call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? For instance, if you tell a kid all the time, which is why we got to stop telling our kids, you're so bad, you're so bad, you're so bad. They start to fulfill that prophecy. They start to believe that I'm bad, and they become and be bad, right? So, but you, like, this is, I know I keep saying it, but this is very important to understand, especially when it comes to these deeper beliefs, is understanding that you are nothing but a bunch of beliefs and assumptions, okay? So nothing is foundational, nothing just is what it is. Everything is a mixture of your beliefs and your conditioning and your programming, right? Which up until this point, most likely has been done unconsciously, okay? Which is why it's not really your fault, you guys, okay? So this is why it's not for you to take blame, right? Just like if a kid then grew up from childhoods being told you're bad, you're bad, you're bad, and they grow up and be bad. I mean, yes, we have to take responsibility for our lives at a point. Like you can't be the adult that says, well, I'm a terrible person and I hurt people and do bad things because of, you know, my childhood, and just let that ride. But have compassion and grace for yourself and know that your patterns, a lot of your patterns, a lot of your habits, a lot of the way that you do has been conditioned, okay? So know yourself as above everything, all right? Know yourself as above all identities, okay? Don't feel attached to an identity. Allow yourself to understand that the identity that I have, the self-concept that I have, the beliefs that I have are just something that has been repeated to me so long that I accepted it as true. But here's another kind of deeper concept, because I'm trying to get down the damn list, bro, but that there are no facts, okay? That it is like this or it isn't like that, right? And there are no facts, you guys. There's no, it just is like this or it just is like that. It's like this, it's like that, and it's like all things in between, because everything is happening, okay? Everything is happening. So the same way that a version of you may struggle with this belief or, you know, have this experience that made them believe a certain way, another version of you does not have that belief and never has had that belief, okay? Okay, great. Now I think we can go on to point number 2, which is to disassociate. All right, now this piggybacks off. I really highly recommend you guys go watch the live that I did on abandoning the old self. It is a life-changing live, okay? And even those of you who, if you're new here, like that's where you'll find most of my videos is on the live tab. But disassociate, okay? Like, and this is why this is number 2, because when you know yourself as the one above the identity, as the one who created the identity, not just the one in the identity, but also the one who created the identity, then you realize, well, that's not necessarily me, right? Like, that's not necessarily what it is. It's like if you went to school to be a doctor and then you all of a sudden decided, like, I want to be, I don't know, I want to train whales or something. And you're like, well, I could never train whales because I'm a doctor. And it's like, no, up until this point, you've been trained to be a doctor, but that doesn't mean that you can't be trained in something new. But you would have to, you probably not going to be training whales and be a doctor, right? You would have to exit that role and enter the new role. So exit that one identity and enter the new identity, right? And how do we do this? Okay. Saturate your mind, repetition, imagining. All right. So let's go through these one by one. Saturating your mind. Okay. Especially when you have a deeply ingrained story. We talked about momentum the other day, which means that when a thought has been thought so often, it doesn't need you to continue to think it, right? The same way if you kick a ball down the hill, it's going to roll off of its own momentum. It doesn't need you to continue to kick it for it to continue to roll, okay? This is how thoughts that have been deeply ingrained in us are. They continue they have their own momentum. So sometimes when you're just dashing, you're like, oh, well, I affirm, and if I remember, and oh, I watched a cool video and that felt really good, and I know it's available, but I don't really do what I'm supposed to do every single day. Well, then you're not like that. The way that I like to explain it is that story it's ingrained. So it's almost like you have 2 cups, right? And one cup is full and you're trying to fill up the other cup. And these cups get filled with your attention and your thoughts, right? But the cup of the bullshit belief, of the deeply ingrained belief, is already full. So it doesn't even need your help. Not only is it full, but it refills itself. So you look in 3D, it's going to give you more evidence to fill it up. So you really, this is why I say, you guys, you have to be concerned. You might, honestly, you need to fall in love with the process. And I know that shit is so fucking cliche. Not even gonna lie. If it was me, I probably would have clicked off at that shit. Like, enjoy the process. Hell no. But here's why, okay? Because it's like farming. All right. It's like, if you're like, yeah, I really want this beautiful plant, but I'm not about to water it, you know? Yeah, there's weeds over there, but I'm not about to pull them. And yeah, you know, these animals keep coming to eat it all my shit up, but you know what I'm finna do about that? So I'm just gonna be over here and be mad about my, you know, I sure do wish I could get some plants though. I sure do wish some would grow over there, but I'm not about to go and do anything to make it grow, you know, like, and actually, you know what, you looking like, well, you know, as soon as the plant come up under the ground, come above ground, I'll water it then. You know, when the plant comes above ground, that'll be my proof. That'll be my sign, you know? That'll be my sign that I should go and water it. But until then, there's nothing for me to water. And so there never will be anything for you to water. Okay? So don't the farmer can't be obsessed with the plant coming above ground, okay? The farmer can't be obsessed with that. The farmer has to be obsessed with tending to it. Right? And this is when things got different. This is when things shifted for me. Okay. When I stopped looking at 3D to say, but look at what it is. It could never be this. And I started making it my business and my intention and my priority to tend to my mind, to be diligent with my thoughts as the artist was with his pencil, right? So saturating consistently and persistently, all right? Consistently and persistently every day, and until when? Not until you're tired. Not until whatever the fuck. Not until somebody tells you you can't have it. Until it's done. Until it's done. Do you have it? Then you should be persisting, okay? And I'm gonna say this because we were reading in the Ascend tier, Evolve, one of the tiers, and Neville was saying, he's like, well, if you've done everything right, what would cause you to fail? And he said, because you haven't achieved the feeling of naturalness. It doesn't feel natural to you to be the person who has the thing, right? And so this is the big reason why these big subconscious beliefs keep us from our manifestations or the things that we really want, because the identity that we have is in complete opposition to the identity of the one who has that thing. All right. So saturate your mind, right? Make your goal saturating your mind. Okay. Don't be the farmer looking at the ground like, well, when is the plant coming? I mean, no, like the farmer wakes up and wonders to himself, how can I tend to my garden? And the garden responds by growing in abundance, right? So wake up wondering, how can I tend to my mind, to my garden? Okay. All right. Repetition. Okay. Repetition. This is the same as saturating, but continue. This is how your beliefs got formed in the first place. And no, we weren't sitting there. Most of us did not grow up affirming things to ourselves, but things were being affirmed to us. We were affirming things to ourselves. And over a process of years, these things became beliefs about ourselves. Okay. This is kind of a sad analogy, but we've seen the light go from children. We've seen children when they grow up and they're like wide-eyed and they're like, oh my gosh, and everything's amazing. I'm gonna grow up and be, you know, a fairy and have a castle and all of this stuff. And we watch as they get older and older and older, and the hope and the joy and the light kind of goes out of them, right? Because all of the things that they're hearing, all the outside stimuli, all the you can't do this and you'll never do that, and you know, all of these things start to ingrain into them, right? So it's repetition. Like most kids, you know, you go to like a third grade class, like I would go to sit with my niece and her friends for lunch, and they're so innocent and pure. Like it literally used to make me cry every time I would go into her school, because there was the energy in there was just so innocent and pure and loving, and all the kids get along with each other, all the kids root for each other. There's no, it's a little bit of, a little bit of kid drama, but like it's just so innocent and pure. And but it takes repetition for that to get drained out of us, but it takes repetition to build it back. All right, especially in the face of circumstances. Okay, so once again, how long, right? How long are you repeating until it's done, until you shift? Okay. Once again, I'm going to say this again. Stop using 3D as your confirmation. Okay. As long as you're using 3D as your confirmation, you don't give yourself the chance to shift. You using 3D as your confirmation is you looking at the ground and saying, well, when that plant pops up, I'll water it. Okay. All right. Now, next, imagine. Okay. Imagine. What if it were true? What if your life was completely opposite, right? And sometimes you can think back to where these beliefs began, right? Maybe like I'll use myself for an example. I was a middle child, right? So I had middle child syndrome. And so for me, being kind of like to the side and like discarded and not important, that was formed very young for me. So I could see, and like for me growing up, my siblings, like I was the good kid, but my siblings were both pretty bad. Like they were always in trouble. So the attention was always on them because I didn't really need to be worried about. And so what if I see myself being worried about, being the priority, not worried about, but being the priority, being loved, getting the attention, right? Being the chosen one, right? Going back in my life and seeing it in different situations, in friends, in school, right? A lot of things, a lot of beliefs are formed in or are solidified in school. Your experience in school, how it was, being either like the outcast, which most of us spiritual people were the ones that were kind of like, on the outside, the black sheep. And that can cause this feeling of rejection. You know what I'm saying? Like not belonging or however, whatever. So imagine, what if you did belong though? What if you weren't the follower, you were the leader? What if you weren't invisible, you were seen, right? What if you weren't rejected, you were accepted? What if you were loved? What if you were cherished? What if you were chosen? What if everyone just always loved you, right? What if you always loved yourself, right? What if you always loved yourself? That's a really beautiful revision to do, that you always loved yourself. You always accepted yourself. You always thought highly of yourself. You always loved how you looked, right? So imagine this. And, this is with everything. Imagine, what if I was or do have these new beliefs, right? Manifest who you are, not, I don't want to say not what you want, but manifest being that person that has it. Okay. Okay. And last but not least, and I'm going to get to your questions, is to persist. Okay. Persist. And this is what we've been talking about anyways with saturating and repetition, but persistence is key because as I've said, you guys, the beliefs that you've taken on were persisted in. Okay. No baby comes out thinking I'm worthless and I should never have. No, don't get the bottle for me, mom. You look tired. Like, no, like babies come out knowing their worth. They know they the shit. They know it's all about them. And life teaches us that that's not true. Who are you to have that? Oh, stop always wanting things. Your needs don't matter. Your wants don't matter, right? So persist, you guys, because most times these subconscious beliefs, like I'd say the top three are in love, money, and health. Okay. And these things are what the difference of these is going to significantly change your quality of life. Okay. Is going to significantly change your quality of life. So you guys, I don't really care. Like if you say, oh, I've been doing it for all these years. Okay. Do you want to stop now and live the rest of your life without it? Do you want to continue to persist and add on and fill up that cup of the opposite story? Either way, you're persisting. You might as well persist in your favor. Okay. All right. Superb. All right. I'm going to read some of your questions now. I love you guys, by the way, and I hope you guys are having amazing whatever day it is. I never know what day it is. It seems so difficult living in two worlds, knowing you're a part of God and living in your mind. It feels like a dream, yet when you open your eyes in 3D, it seems like your world is crumbling. I feel like I've manifested myself into a black hole to the point that it feels like the more I believe, the further I fall and recognize I have nothing I want. But for some reason, my spirit does enjoy listening and seeing others live their dreams. That's very interesting, Ash. You know, you could be in, it sounds kind of like a purge type of moment. Like it sounds like, because it can be like that, you know? And I think in those moments, when you feel like you're knowing yourself deeply and 3D doesn't seem like it's shifting, it's the part, like, it's forcing you to continue to persist in what you said beyond what you're seeing. It's continuing to believe, yes, I am God, not because of all of these things, right? But I'm God, period. Nothing can determine or not determine that. Okay? But keep persisting, Ash. Just take care of yourself. Maybe even get into some surrender, you know, like just relax. That's gonna be fine. I'm really knowing and feeling you'll be back with a success story very soon. What if you keep feeling bad when manifesting? I'm still manifesting money since 6 months. What are you feeling bad about? Yes. My stomach hurts. I'm sorry. Like, I believe that I can get money, but somewhere inside of me doesn't believe it. I know that sounds weird, but yeah, it does. You're just in the middle. You're in the middle. That you already got the money. That's the thing. Okay. Thank you, Pamela. What's your insights about taking actions in 3D while manifesting a job, music career, or SP? That's a really good question. I mean, this is the thing, you guys. Like, it's kind of a interesting answer because most likely you will take action. It's just what state are you taking action from? Like, are you taking action from the state of, I don't have what I want, and I think that my action, maybe if I just call this person, or if I call this job again, or call this producer again, I will get what I want. But if your consciousness and what you're aware of is still, I don't have it though, then that doesn't really matter. And honestly, when you do it from that point, when you're taking action from a lack consciousness and you get lack results, it furthers you into doubt to where it's like, damn, even when I try, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine. And this is the thing, is like what Neville calls the bridge of incidents, right? Or a bridge of events, which is you will be led down it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it won't even be something that you're thinking. A friend calls you, says, bro, like, I'm in town, come to lunch with me. Oh, okay. You notice that he got like a sparkling ass new Rolex, and he's like, oh yeah, dude, I started my company, but all I need is a CFO, and it's exactly what you're certified. And he's like, yeah, I'll hire you right now. I'll give you a sign-on bonus of 50,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can be stuff that you're not even thinking about. So you don't need to concern yourself about what action to take. Just keep accepting that that's who it is, or that's what it is, and the action is going to be presented to you. You know, what I will say when it comes to action and manifesting, you guys, is it's helpful to be tuned into your intuition, because a lot of people might, let's say the friend call you, right? And you're manifesting money, you're manifesting wealth or a new job or a career. Your friend calls you and says, oh, let's go, let's go to lunch. And you're like, oh, well, I have a job interview. You know, your intuition is telling you go to lunch with him. You should go to lunch with him. But if you don't listen to your intuition, you're like, well, it's more important for me to go to this job interview. Well, then you miss your opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter. Like, the universe has infinite opportunities for you. Like, you'll just keep getting opportunities, you know, if you keep persisting. But do listen to those little nudges, and it won't always like look how you expect. That's why you can't really look for it. Just focus on your end. All right. Okay. Can I think I'm the version of me that has it and try to keep my thoughts matching, and that's good? Yeah, you can do that. What does it mean to embody the state? Okay, to embody the state, it's like being as the person who has it, right? It's being in the state of the version of you who has it. So let's take what the person above you said. Like, oh no, this is the same, your question. Like, let's say manifesting a job, even all three of these things, manifesting a job, music career, or SP, you would probably be in a state of celebration, of accomplishment, of success, right? Of feeling good about yourself, feeling up about yourself, feeling proud of yourself, right? So that's a state of being that you can come into. That's what embody. And so you embodying the state is you coming into that state and that feeling and that essence and that energy before any of it happens, okay? I just manifested back $200 of $300 that my school took from my financial aid that I was expecting to get back. They ended up applying my separate and non-refundable admission fee as a refund. I love that. Congratulations, Nectar. Yes. I have manifest my family and I a new home. We've been here now 2 weeks. Congratulations, Bougie. I love that. That's amazing. Oh, I love to hear your successes, guys. Okay. Can you give me some advice about the list method? More than 100 points. Okay. So I honestly, you guys, I don't want to say I've never used the list method. But not really, like not in that way. Like I've made lists for things that I want. How specific, like if I want a job, I want it to have this, that, or a house, I want it to have this, that. But like as far as like writing my manifestations in a list and then saying, oh, like my list manifested, I have not personally used that with success. However, I think it can be a good way to manifest. I've heard good things about it because it keeps you out of obsessing too much. Like it kind of forces you into trust and without like over analyzing things. But I would say give it a try. Okay. How specific do you suggest one to be? I'm manifesting a dope ass life. To be honest, okay, first do what you want for sure. You know, like whatever, if you want to be specific about things, be specific. If you don't, then you don't. But what I personally suggest is the more general, the better. And here's why, like, I believe that, and it depends. It depends, like, because it can be better to be specific. But the reason I say it can be better to be general in the case of manifesting a dope ass life is because of our perspective is limited. So what we might think is a dope ass life and the things that we might be chasing or the way that we see for us to have a dope ass life may not exactly be that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, for me, for a long time, I really wanted to be a flight attendant. That was like one of my big dreams, right? And because I wanted to travel, right? But like me doing this is better for me to travel. You see what I'm saying? And I'll make more money. Like I'm doing something I love. Like me being a flight attendant, I would be traveling, but I would also be working the whole time. But at the time that was my wish, that was as far as my mind could conceive, right? So I say to be open, like, and even it, a lot of reasons why being general, again, just like I said with the list method, it helps you to be less attached because you're not looking for something specific. You're not saying, oh, John Blow isn't here, so my dream life isn't here. And I'm not working at freaking, I don't know, Circuit City, so my dream life isn't here. Like you're just in trust that your dream life is unfolding, you know, which is a perfect state for your dream life to unfold in. Now, here's something that's a little advanced, but those of you guys who can catch this, and it's going to really shift things for you. This is where people are getting so many manifestations happening automatically, and it's coming to the state of no problem, okay? When you come into the state of no problem, you're not aware of any problem. You're not aware of anything needing to be manifested. You're accepting right now in this moment, in the face of everything looking the same, you're accepting that you're now in your perfect reality. And so reality rearranges, you persist in that. Reality rearranges to match that in all ways that delight you, in specific and general, and even better ways, okay? Right. So is it that we remember God within and activate that conviction when we are thinking about embodying our desired reality, and now God can move freely through us as inspired action? Wow, abundant one. That is put so beautifully and perfect. Yes. Love that. Okay. Oh, Nina, happy almost birthday. Well, if you want money for your birthday, first of all, birthdays are a perfect time to receive money. All times are a perfect time to receive money. But just see yourself having a lit time, Nina. Like, just see yourself turned the fuck up. See yourself dress how you want to dress, doing what you want to do, having the most incredible time. Even maybe hear yourself like the day after your birthday talking with somebody like, oh my God, that was the best birthday ever. Yes, that's amazing. Congratulations, JK. You manifested your 1K. And oh, I wanted to tell you guys this success story. So, some of you guys were on the live. I did it, it was like a couple days ago. And somebody came on there and she was talking about her baby father was violent, right? And or was showing signs of being violent. And I told her, like, I revised it for her. I was like, no, he's not. Like, he's calm. It's calm coming over him right now. His brain is filled with calmness and calm energy. And he's actually even meditating and calm. And I even said in the live, y'all, I was like, and it's going to happen so fast that you're going to be freaked out. You're going to be like, what is this lady, a witch or something? Like, how did she do that? Swear to God, you guys, she commented on one of my videos today, I think, or yesterday, and was like, it actually happened. He's become so calm that it's actually like freaky, like how fast he's just completely changed. So I say that to say, y'all, it's funny because in the live, right? You know, of course, everybody was concerned for her safety, which I'm always concerned for your safety as well, you guys. But I said, nobody is unredeemable, though. It's like, if it's somebody who's in your life, who has to be in your life, like, it's better for us to call forth the highest version of them. Not everybody, right? Not everybody we want to do that for. Not everybody, you definitely don't have to. But if it's somebody who has to be in your life, it's better for them to be the highest version of themselves than to keep them in the lower state, okay? But I thought I loved that success story because I truly, honestly, you guys, I just be saying shit. I'm not even kidding. Like, when I see what you guys are telling me, I'm just turning it around. Just because. Like, really, literally just because. And then you guys come and tell me, like, it actually happened. But I also I created the belief that I create a belief about you guys getting results and all these other kind of things, okay? I make lists of things I would love to buy, but are so out of my reach. But recently, I found a list that I had made 5 years ago of things I had really wanted, and I actually got all of them. Period, bunny. Period. What do you do when you're caught in a failure loop and it's been a long time of a lot of movement, just not full job manifesting, a lot of delay and no? Okay. When you're in a failure loop, I suggest revision. I suggest letting go. And I suggest accepting your end. Okay. So actually, you could do those like one after the other. Revise it. Actually, you've been getting so many job offers, you don't even know what to do. You're like, damn, they're all so good. And this one's paying me this much, and this one's paying me that much, and this one wants to give me this and that. And come into that state. Imagine that's true. And then accept that it's done. You already have the job. You're not looking for a job. That's the energy that you're in. I'm looking for a job. You're not looking for a job. You were already hired by the perfect place with the perfect boss, the perfect coworkers, the perfect hours, the perfect pay, everything. Everything's actually perfect. You have the perfect job, and that's it. Delay, that doesn't happen for you. All you get is yes. All you get is what you want, period. You're actually exactly what they're looking for. You're actually almost overqualified. They like, man, the only way we can hire you with these type of qualifications is if we pay you more, you know? Would you accept that? Is that okay with you? I mean, is that okay with you, motivational diva? Y'all just be saying shit. I swear. And she gonna come back and be like, I got a job now and it's paying me wonderfully. Of course it is. It was already doing that. It was already doing that. Nina said, okay, speak that $1 billion on me. Sure, why not, Nina? You're a billionaire. You just got off the PJ, okay? You just got off your PJ. You just landed in your summer home in Italy, and you're like, oh gosh, it's so lovely here. You know, I'll maybe stay here for the rest of August and then travel back to wherever in September. And you're like, gosh, billions of dollars? Like, what do I do with all this? And you give it away to charities and you take care of your family and your friends and you live a lit ass life. And you know what you do? You kind of record it and people just watch you because you're like, I want to inspire people. You just living your rich $1 billion life. You just inspire people. They just watch you and you're like, yeah, guys, this is all manifestation. Like, if you want to be a billionaire like me, I mean, just manifest it. That's what I did. And it's actually prospering people. Like, you prospering is prospering people. It's amazing. Congratulations. Ah. Oh my God. I love you, Nina. You guys are so funny. But trust me, you guys, I don't have anything that y'all don't have. It's just direction. Just direct it. You have the same power. Just direct it. Just say, y'all, listen, literally, like how y'all see me revise these things on here, just do it just like that, y'all. Notice how I don't ask you, oh, damn, how long you been looking for a job? Damn, well, what field do you work in? What's the economy looking like? Damn, bruh, yeah, the stocks is down. That's red. None of that shit matters, bruh. What do you want? What do you want? Because that's the only absolute only thing that matters. What do you want? Okay, then you have it and you love it and it's amazing and it blew you away and it's even better than you even expected, period. And I'm just gonna say that. Neville used to do the same thing for people. He said the reason why it works so well is because as soon as they drop down the elevator, they drop off my mind, right? As soon as I click off of this video, it's out of my mind. I'm not still thinking about it, right? But I have this standing intention and standing belief that you guys come on here and get instant results, period. Like, I have that belief, but I'm not obsessed over it. I'm not like, did they though? And oh my God, and whoa, and oh man, they said that they didn't have no money and this and no. It's like this, let it go. They got it, just like that, okay? And it's all like, it's like, know that all of this shit is fantasy. It's all fantasy, okay? The facts are fantasy, y'all. The facts are fantasy, too. So if it's all fantasy, then it might as well be the fantasy that we want. You know what I'm saying? It might as well be. I'm thinking about what's your fantasy by Ludacris. Might as well be that kind of fantasy. You know? Make it so good you don't want to leave. Oh my gosh. Aw. My future husband just drove an hour to drop off a garden bed he built for me from scratch. I feel so loved and adored. I love that, Mama Kay. Yes. My dream house was gifted to me in limitless money naturally. All that, period, FB. Period. Not Olivia After Dark, princess. I can't. Oh my gosh. When I moved here in 2013, my neighbor had a car that I loved and wanted bad, but I knew I couldn't afford it. In 2018, my parents wanted to show me some love and got me the car, a newer model. I love that, Bunny. Love that. Yes, randomly, a few minutes ago, I saw an old envelope for a $25K loan that I forgot to trash, but it looked like a real check. It was a real check. Okay. All right, Ashley, I'm gonna answer your question and then I'm gonna slide, okay, you guys? So make a video about manifesting new love, like someone you've never met before. All right. If I was doing that, what I would do is make a list, actually. I would make a list on all the things that I want. And I would also include how I want to feel in the relationship, okay? How do I want to feel? Because just being in a relationship is not shit, right? You want to feel a certain way. You want to feel loved. You want to feel adored. So write all his qualities. Write the qualities of your relationship. Write the qualities of yourself in the relationship. And just trust, you know? Just trust. Like, that's the thing about it. To me, I think it's a little bit easier to do that than an SP, but that's just my opinion and my assumption, because you're not trying to change somebody. You're open. You don't know who it is, so you're open to all of those qualities coming right to you. You know, so yeah. I want to be aware of manifesting multiple things at once. What's the best way method? I would say depends. You could actually do that with anything. Like you could do scripting and just script about it all. You could do sats and have a scene that includes it all. You could do subliminals of manifesting it all. You can accept that you've moved into a reality where you've manifested it all. Yeah, you can do it like that. But all right, you guys, I'm sending you guys infinite love. I'm intending that you guys have a beautiful, wonderful weekend, and I'm intending that this prospers you immensely, and I'm absolutely sure that it has. If you guys would like to work with me, there are links in the description. But other than that, I'm sending you infinite love, and I will be back tomorrow.